For a while, I've been thinking that I want to do something else. I want to move on.
Because? Change? You want change?
Yeah. I think I want to be rich and famous, and I want to make a difference in the world. And I've been really enjoying what I've been doing now.
Do you have to be rich and famous to make a difference? Do those two go together? Do they have to go together?
No, it's like the rich and famous would be for me.
Those are just independent desires.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just wonder if you have any insight about that for me.
Well,
personally.
we can clearly say to you that you can be or do or have anything that you choose. We love the energy rustle that's going around in you, because you're saying, I have concluded as I've been observing myself that I fear change.
Yeah.
And then you say, and I want more change than almost anybody that I've ever known.
Yeah.
So we say, all in good time. But those two intentions or those two statements are not going very well together, are they?
Not.
And so diffuse them by saying, everything's unfolding wonderfully, and I can feel the power of my desire to have value. That's the thing that we feel within you most powerfully. In other words, you talk about being rich and famous, and we don't think that you can add value in a really powerful way without finding some of all of that. In other words, we think that they sort of all go hand in hand. But it is our encouragement to you to focus upon the thing that you can feel the most powerful within you, and that is your desire to uplift. And as you focus upon your desire to uplift, and you make statements to yourself such as, well, I'm not sure exactly how this will unfold, but I know that I will always be in that sort of environment. Then you sort of put yourself in a place where you are more ready to allow the next door that will open, and it won't feel so strange under those conditions. As you try to force it, as we said earlier, then sometimes you're asking for more than you're ready to allow. That's what a feeling of overwhelmment is.
Yeah.
It's asking for more than my belief system allows. That's what this thing is within you that makes you say, I fear change. What you're actually saying is, I have this very big desire, this very big dream that I have been focused upon for a very long time, and I've got the energy moving pretty fast upon that. And we say to you, you have, and it has done great preparing work into your future experience. In other words, it's no wonder that you get the sense of that, because there is a lot out there for you. But then you take this other thing that you've been dragging around for a while and beating the drum of that says, but I fear change. And we say, what that is a sort of wisdom within you that's letting you know that you're not wanting to get your desire moving too far ahead of your belief. So what you say is, little by little, everything's unfolding perfectly. I know it when I see it. I make good decisions. I can tell when a door opens. I can feel when a door opens. And then in a more faith-based attitude, you step back and say, things always work out for me, and I'm coming to trust in the laws of the universe. And I know that I have a powerful desire, and I know that I have been launching that desire and adding to it for a very long time. And I know Source has been hearing me, and I know Source is answering that. And now I'm just working on letting it in. I'm just working on letting it in. A little change here and a little change there. Nothing that I can't handle. I get to make every decision on my own. The nuggets are everywhere. Isn't this being fun? And then we want to bring you back around finally to this realization that this desire to be rich and famous and an uplifter, all good intentions, but we want to give you something here that's going to go a long way in soothing all of this. It speaks of quantum leaping. In other words, when you say, I'm going to be fabulously rich, what you're saying is, I want to do this thing that I have no earthly idea or real belief that I can ever achieve. Mm-hmm. Where if you don't attempt the bigger leap so much, and you just say, I'm expecting life to just get better and better and better and better for me. And I know each phase that it does get better, the next step is really better and really better and really better. And I know that it's going to be better and better and better, and I'm so joyous on this journey. It is the in the now, right now feeling that life is really about. So when you say, I want to be really famous or have really a lot of money, there's an underlying thing that you are saying really loudly that says, I'm really not where I really want to be. Mm-hmm. So the more you talk about what you want under those conditions, the more you spread the difference in the vibrational elements of the belief and where you are and what you want. Whether you're thinking about the past or the present or the future, it's happening right now. Your merging of the non-physical you and the physical you is happening right now. This is the juncture where all of the power is. And you can tell how much power you're summoning now by how you feel, and how much of what you're summoning now you're allowing right here and now. In other words, the emotional content of your mood is letting you know everything about that merging of those energies, you see. And so Everything that you want is for one reason only. You think that in the having of it, you will feel better. And we say, oh, how about choosing the thought that feels better now? When you stand here in a place that you have defined is less than you want in some way, and you say, I want to be more of an uplifter, I want to be rich, and I want to be famous, I want to be over there, we say, why? And usually you say, whether you say it or not, you say, because I'm not as happy as I would like to be over here. And we say, you got to get happy over here before what's over there can come over here. So then friends say, so Abraham, you're just trying to talk me into not caring about what I don't have, sort of putting up with the absence of it. And we say, no, we're trying to talk you into caring so much how you feel now, because life is right now, that you are choosing among the myriads of thoughts that you might think, thoughts that feel good right now. You're wanting to mine the details of your now for things to feel good about now.
I've been making some decisions about my own health and what to do in regards to doctors' suggestions, and didn't even so much make a conscious decision as I just felt like my body and my guidance made it for me, and I felt very comfortable with it. In fact, I felt really great.
Then it's perfect. We can hear it. We can feel a big butt hanging in the air, but
there is, and it's the butt that I need the help with. As long as I don't tell anybody about it, like my husband or anybody else, they don't kind of, how shall I say, steamroller me with their doubts. Like if I don't tell anybody what I've done, then they don't know, and therefore they can't worry. But, like, for instance, my husband, if he knew that I had stopped taking the medication, for instance, he would start telling me all the different problems that I could be getting into, and don't I really want to rethink this? And
well, you know, it's really not so different, him telling you that, than you pretending that he's telling you that.
Oh, no, he has told me this already. In the last time I did this, and then we had a less than positive outcome along down the road.
But what we are saying to you is, as you say, I'm not going to take this medicine, and I'm not going to tell him, because I don't want the grief of what he would say.
Okay.
Even though you're not telling him, you're talking about the grief that he would give you, and you're still amplifying his doubts, which are amplifying your doubts, and so you might as well tell him, really.
Okay. Well, that's not the biggest part. The part is that, for instance, I know the last time, either he or anyone else said it, it just sent this like bolt of fear through me, and that's what I want to know how to deal with. Like, if my inner guidance doesn't work with fear, so therefore this is not true guidance.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that we really want you to hear, and we'll stay here until you really heal. You'll hear this. This will be very easy for you to hear. Here's what's happening when you feel that bolt of fear moving through you. Someone might say, who is trying to understand about guidance, well, that's telling you that what you're doing is really, really wrong, and that you're in danger, and that you need to do something different. And we say, what that feeling of fear is what this thought, whatever this thought is that you've activated right now, is so vibrationally different than the thought of well-being that is so powerful within you, that to amplify that thought, you've got discord going on. So here's the thing we want you to hear. We've been saying it all day, but it's not the easiest thing to hear. These emotions are not coming forth to try to get you to take the medicine or not take the medicine. These emotions are coming forth to try to get you to take the thought path of least resistance for a while, and as you take the thought path of least resistance and you allow the alignment with Source, then your body lines up and the medicine becomes a non-issue, you see. Now, someone would say, but Abraham, it is clear that some of this medicine really helps these people, so are you telling them not to take the medicine? And we say, no, in most cases we say continue to take the medicine. In other words, take the medicine if it soothes the restless natives around you, and say to yourself how you appreciate the medicine that is giving you some evidence of stability. But the whole time you are either not taking the medicine or taking the medicine, the most important thing that you are doing is reaching for thoughts thoughts that don't stab you with that piercing feeling of fear. Because eventually, as you reach for the thought that feels better, and the thought that feels better, and the thought that feels better, and the thought that feels better, you will be in a place where the thought that they formerly offered you that is so frightening to you doesn't make you feel frightened, because you have established within yourself the vibration of well-being, and you will be so well connected with source energy. Sometimes someone will come to Esther. It happens occasionally, not so much anymore, but it did in the past. And they will say to her, I read whatever, and I see something in your body that is troubling. And that used to just make Esther crazy, because she was afraid that they could see something that she couldn't see, and what if it, and now, over time, as she's come into alignment with her own well-being, she always just thanks them for their interests and appreciates that they care about her, and she lets it go immediately, because she knows that they do not know something about her body that she does not know, you see. And eventually you'll come to that place too. But in the meantime, don't try to defend your position, because you're right. When you try to defend it, anybody with other opposing beliefs will just try to push harder at you. And so it is better not to talk about it. But at the same time that you're not talking about it, is also better not to think about it.
Right.
We talked earlier about, do I choose that which is true, or do I choose that which feels better? And people will say, so I'm telling a little fib to my mother or to my husband, and I feel guilty about not telling the truth. And we say, well, the reason that you are not telling them is because you know the response that it's going to bring forth in them. And your guidance system is letting you know that the response that that's going to bring forth in them is not good for them either. It's not good for them. It's not good for you. It's not the basis of a moment in time that you are wanting, you see. Then people say, well, Abraham, I'm afraid to get into this path of denial. Are you saying that I should just pretend that I don't need this and that everything will be all right? And we say, if you pretend that you don't need it, but you really believe that you do, and you pretend hard enough that you don't take the action of taking the medicine, but you're really worried, then that's not the best place to be either. Each of you has to find your place. It is our promise to you that as you reach for the thought that feels better, the impulse that will come will be something that you can trust. And as you follow your impulse for action, it will lead you right back out into the light where you want to be.
So that's what it's been doing the last while.
Thank you. Be easy about it. Be playful about it. Adore your mate, for he is only speaking from his place of adoration of you. And don't let it be an issue. Esther used to watch the television commercials and feel rage as she would see not only the number of commercials, but the intensity with which they thrust their misinformation. As they say, 1 out of 5 has it and you're probably the one. And then they speak all of these normal day-to-day symptoms that are the sure indicator that you're there. Right. And Esther would shout at the television, don't you know that you are perpetuating this very thing that you pretend to want to be alleviating? And we would say to Esther, as she would relax and settle down, just be easy about it. If everyone knew what you are knowing, then there would not be a place or a need for hospitals and medicine in that way. But the medicine has not come to try to take you to a place you don't want to be. It has risen from the vibration of the masses. In other words, the hospitals and the doctors come in vibrational response to the people who feel that they want something that they have not figured out how to get on their own. And so everything is in perfect order. And when someone like you, we're speaking to Esther, or you, decides that you're not wanting to participate in their game, don't condemn their game, because their game is serving some. Instead, just play a different game. And as you really play the different game with no sense of obligation or connection to their game, then you purify your energy. And that's the thing that we can feel that you're struggling a little bit with. You feel like you've got one foot in both worlds. And we say, it's all right for you to continue the action of one world while you line up your thoughts in the other. Because when you line up your energy, any action that you're offering is not contradictory to what you are wanting. Did you hear that? In other words, your power of thought is so much more powerful. When you align with who you are, almost any action will get you to where you're wanting to be. But when you're not aligned with who you are, you can't find enough action to make the difference, because you can't compensate for the misalignment of energy within you, you see. Yes. So, if your husband were to say to you, are you taking your medicine? What would you say?
I don't know, because I I have this real problem lying, and I also don't know how to.
Well, we can feel that. Well, here's what we would say.
Yeah, tell me.
You dear, 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 always thinking about me. Aren't you the sweetest one? Aren't you the sweetest one? I wish that I could give half of the attention to you in the way that you give it to me. I adore.
Oh, we would love that.
I adore how you love me.